Good morning. It is right at 7 o'clock on Saturday, December 26th. I got up, I don't know why my alarms weren't going off this morning, and they're going off now because I had a few more set for later on. But I missed my first two alarms, and so I set like another one to test it, and it didn't go off either. So I don't know what was going on with my alarms, but they're working now. Anyway, I got up at 6 and ran. It is cold, but it's not the coldest I've ever been in, so it's okay. And by the time I got done running, it was, because I missed my first couple of alarms, it was a little bit later than I was expecting. It was like 6:40, and I was hoping I could kind of start getting ready before trying to get a boarding group for Rise of the Resistance. But those start at 7, and you have to be like literally to the second at 7 o'clock to get one. So I don't want to risk like not being able to do that, and because our Wi-Fi and data in our room is terrible, so I went down to like the lobby-ish kind of part of the building and sat there and just like watched videos on tips to try to get boarding groups. And right at 7 I got one, so we're boarding group 22, which is good. Happy with that. But now I've got to go get ready because we're going to try to leave in about 45 minutes to hop on a bus to Hollywood Studios. All right, I'm just really excited because I was so stressed about that. Because I didn't want to have like put in all kinds, not that I put it in work, but like researched all this and then not to get it. That would have been really disappointing, but everything's all good. Good morning from Hollywood Studios now. It is, oh, I changed my watch. It's like 8:20. We just got through the gates. We caught a bus like right as we were walking up at 8 o'clock. And we are walking over to Galaxy's Edge, which neither of us have seen. Everything's obviously still decorated for Christmas, and they're saying happy day after Christmas. So that's kind of fun. So, pretty empty right now. Again, if you get here early, it's gonna be empty, even on like the busiest of days. Right, so we just got off the Slinky Dog. Fun. It said it was a 40-minute wait, only ended up being 20 minutes, which was great. Before that, we did Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, which we got there like right before 8:30. They told us they'd start loading groups at 8:30, and it didn't start moving. The line didn't start moving until 8:45, which is fine. It was fun. It was like a simulator that you like actually got to like control some stuff, so that was cool. But when I checked after we got off Slinky Dog, our boarding group for Rise was called, so that's where we're headed right now. What'd you just say? Well, I wasn't even gonna do this, but Matt kind of was mocking me. So we are leaving Hollywood Studios. We just finished doing Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, which neither of us had done. It was really cute. Nothing like too thrilling, but definitely fun, worth doing. We actually saw that it was down when we went to go do it initially, so then we stopped and we were gonna go to Star Tours. That was a really long line. Neither of us cared too much to do it for the wait that it was gonna be. It was gonna be like 50 minutes. So then instead we went to Baseline to get a flight of beer and charcuterie plate, all of which was good. Not charcuterie. But after that, we saw that, or as we were kind of finishing up, we saw Mickey and Minnie's came back up, and it was only a 25-minute wait. So we got on it, and it ended up probably being closer to a 15-minute wait, which was perfect. I don't think I'd wait like more than 45 minutes for it, but it was definitely cute, worth doing for the wait we had this time. But we kind of got everything done that we wanted to get done. So we decided to head out, go to the room, and then we'll come back when it's dark. Maybe hit a couple more rides, but kind of just to see Hollywood Studios at night, all lit up with Christmas decorations. So we're gonna go kind of chill out for a little bit. It's really cold. We just finished eating at Territory Lounge, which is not normally open, but right now Geyser Point is closed because it's cold. So they opened Territory Lounge, and it's got a lot of the same menu items, but kind of a mix of what Territory Lounge would normally have and what Geyser Point has. Stop bumping into me. So Matt got teriyaki chicken wings. I got cheesy barbecue brisket, which was like served in a ramekin with chips, so it was like a dip kind of thing. Both were really good. But we're heading back to Hollywood Studios now. Maybe get a couple of rides in before it closes. It closes at 8 and it's 6 now, so hopefully we can get a couple things done. I really want to see at the park like at night with all the lights lit up, because they have good holiday decorations. Alright, this is where we're heading, which it's really hard to see. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. It has like a 5-minute wait, which is great.
I am Paulo Omaka, and this is Omaka Transport Solutions. Today, I am offering the opportunity of a lifetime.
Alright, so we just got back to the room and I already put my pajamas on because I am, and I'm pretty sure Matt is also exhausted. It is almost 11 o'clock and we just got back from dinner. We had a reservation kind of made last minute for Whispering Canyon in Wilderness Lodge. You can get like normal entrees, but they're kind of known for, or supposed to be known for, their skillets, which is like all you can eat. Comes in this like one big, not cast iron, but I guess it's supposed to kind of look like cast iron skillet. Our reservation was for 9:35, which was already pretty late, but we stayed at the park until 8, so it's kind of like, well, we'll get back and have a little bit of downtime, and then we can go eat. We didn't end up getting called to our reservation until 10, which made it that much like, really. So we got called for a reservation at 10, and we each got a skillet. We tried 2 different ones just so we could have like a variety of stuff. I got the piggy one, which was all like, or I don't know, maybe it's just the pig, but it's all pig-based stuff. So there was like sausage, pulled pork, ribs, piggy wings, which I have no idea like what part of the pig that is, pork belly, and I feel like there was one other thing, but anyway, you get the point. Lots of pig meat. And then each skillet came with mashed potatoes, green beans, and corn. So I got that one. Matt got the traditional, which had a variety of meats. So it had chicken, it had some of the same things like the sausage, the pulled pork, ribs, and then it also had brisket and the same vegetables or sides, which honestly, those kind of ended up being my favorite thing. Like the mashed potatoes were pretty good. The green beans were like cooked unevenly. Like some of them were still like crispy, like, you know, like had a snap to them, and then some were very like sauteed down and like more mushy, which I like, that's how I prefer them, but it was just inconsistent. The corn was very like meh, it just tastes like corn. There wasn't anything special to it. The meats, however, we both kind of thought were very meh. Most of them were pretty like dry and tough. Like the pork rib I had, I could barely tell the difference between like where the bone was and where the meat was. It was that like tough. I think the best meat that I tried, or that I remember, was the chicken Matt had. So that was probably like our least favorite food we've had since we've been here, which is disappointing, but now we know. But we're tired. We're getting ready to go to bed. Right now we have a reservation actually for Whispering Canyon in the morning for breakfast. I don't know that we'll keep that or not. That's at 8, and then we have to check out, and our bus back on the Magical Express leaves at 10:40 for our flight back home. So not like a super early morning or anything, but still have to pack. I haven't packed anything yet, so we're gonna go to bed because we're tired. But another good day. here at Disney. Every day at Disney is a good day. Good morning. It is almost 8 o'clock on Sunday, December 27th. We are just kind of getting up and getting ready to go get breakfast. We're gonna do the quick service here at Wilderness Lodge, which is called Roaring Fork. Just trying to get to a different resort right now. It's a little close cutting it on time. Our flight leaves at 1:45, which means the Magical Express we're catching leaves at 10:40, which just doesn't give us a ton of time to like get packed, get ready, and get somewhere and back. So we're just gonna stay here and get breakfast at the quick service and then just, I guess, walk around the resort maybe a little bit before we leave. I've got to take off all of this like garland and these window clings, but we are gonna wrap up here and leave. I am sad, but it's a little bit easier for me to leave this time because we're going to go to the beach and hang out with my family for New Year's, and I don't have to get back to work, so it makes leaving a lot easier. Oh my goodness, I think I can hear like Magic Kingdom music. I totally can. Or maybe it's just music they're piping in here. I can hear some kind of Disney music though, and that makes me happy. I have loved staying at Boulder Ridge, specifically for Christmas. It might not be the like aesthetic I would choose normally, but it's just perfect, like a lodge feel, really cozy, fires going. They've got obviously like garland and lights everywhere, super pretty. Some things that are pros about it for sure, and these are things that I don't think people would normally, some of them are things that people think about, but some things I thought like as we were kind of staying here that are pros that I've never really heard anybody talk about. The bus situation is, well, for Boulder Ridge it's great because it's ruled, the bus stops leaving are really close, but also for Wilderness Lodge, I know these can change, but I think this is pretty much the case always. When you're leaving a park, the buses are like one of the first stops. So like we were always 1, 2, 3, or 4, which was great because you didn't have to walk after leaving, like as you're leaving the park, you didn't have to walk a really long way to catch your bus. So that was a huge pro. That's just not anything I would have probably ever thought about, but it was great. The boat to Magic Kingdom was awesome. It made getting back and forth really easy. It's just like straightforward coming back here, which was nice because it made the travel time a lot shorter. So coming back to your room didn't take a lot of time. So we were able to take a nice long break in the middle of the day, which means we can get there early and be there late, which is when the crowds are the lowest. Some other things that are just more general. Loved having a balcony. I've never had a balcony in Disney World before. The view wasn't anything special, but it's just nice having this, and it's especially nice because we got to decorate it, which was fun. A little extra, but super fun. Loved having all the different dining here. Lots of options. We ate at pretty much all of them except for Roaring Fork. I picked up a cupcake and we're going to eat there this morning, so haven't eaten there yet really. Haven't heard really anything about it one way or another. Dinner last night was met at Whispering Canyon, but it is an option. It's something different. Geyser Point I'd eaten at before. I really like it. Probably better for like warmer times. They actually had to close it because it was really cold, but it's got good food, good atmosphere. You could watch the water pageant, electrical water pageant, which was really fun. And then Territory Lounge had pretty much the same thing as Geyser Point, just a good quick bites kind of thing. The only one that wasn't open was Artist Point, and it's like the upscale kind of dining. That's not something we probably would have eaten at anyway, but goes to show you lots of options. I also like the running trail here, not probably quite as much as the one at Caribbean Beach / Riviera, just because Riviera and Caribbean Beach, it's a loop, and I just could run a loop, and I could kind of do that here, but it's not technically the running path. But I was up so early that like I saw one person one out of the 2 days I ran, so that was good. The room in here, and I said this on day one, the room was really spacious, and I think part of that is because there's only one bed, and that's perfect for us. But it can sleep up to 5 people with that pull-down bed and the pull-out couch. But I think in general, even if it did have 2 beds, it just feels bigger. Part of that also is because it has a little kitchenette. We didn't really use that a whole lot. I mean, it was nice to have an extra counter space and an extra sink, especially if you did have more people. Like, people could at least brush their teeth in that. So that was nice. It's nothing that was super necessary, but it was good to have. I don't know of anything else right off the top of my head, but really enjoyed staying here. I wouldn't jump back to come here, but I would definitely stay here again given the opportunity. I just really want to try other resorts is the big thing. It's not that I don't like staying here. This was really nice, and I would definitely stay here again for Christmas. But we're gonna go get breakfast and finish packing up. It looks like, I don't know, something rolled through here and just destroyed our room right now. There's laundry everywhere. So I got to get that situated, but I will check in with you later. So we just sat down to eat at Roaring Fork, which is the quick service place at Wilderness Lodge. I got banana Foster's French toast with bacon, and I got some kind of like breakfast platter with eggs, bacon, sausage, potatoes, and a biscuit. It took quite a while to get this. I don't know what was going on. We got coffee and a water too. But we'll see how it is. The banana Foster stuff smells good. All right, so we just got back to our room. It is a little after 10 o'clock. We had breakfast at Roaring Fork, which was pretty good. I don't know if this is an all like Disney quick service thing, or maybe it's just the resorts, or just happens to be the ones we went to. But both of the meals, I think me and Matt got, came with bacon. And it came with 4 pieces bacon at each place for like each person, which I feel like is a lot, because even if I go to like sit down restaurants and get home, and you normally only get like 2 pieces of bacon. So random that, but just something interesting that you wouldn't expect. I don't think Disney to do can give you a lot of bacon, but for whatever reason they do. However, it is extremely greasy, like came off the pan in the oven and they didn't pat it off at all, or like let it drip out. I don't know. It was good though. After that, we went to the DVC, like kind of kiosk desk thing in the lobby, because I wanted to see if we could look at a cabin. So Wilderness Lodge has cabins that kind of look over the water, and they are super nice. They're part of DVC. They're extremely expensive. But I just wanted to go in one because I've seen videos of them before, and you can search Copper Creek cabins and you can see videos. I didn't video anything because I know there's other videos out there. They're very nice, like TVs in the mirrors, full really nice kitchens, hot tub, like your own hot tub. So I just wanted to kind of see one of those. So we went and did that, and then we just came back to our room, and we've got about 30 minutes before we have to head down to the lobby to get the Tragical Express, because we're leaving, so it's tragical, it's not magical. I just wanted to share a couple quick kind of thoughts about this trip though, as far as general ideas from this week. So first of all, crowds. And I'll preface this with, I have never been to Disney during Christmas. And I recognize that this is not the typical Christmas. However, I have an idea of what a normal Christmas would kind of look like at Disney World. Very crowded. I'm sure you can see videos somewhere of that too. So crowds were not bad at all. I felt like they were very manageable. There were times for sure that everything was a lot more congested than others. But I would put them on like a 6 out of 10. I use touring plans. I think it's great to help you kind of manage like your expectations on what you can get done. It'll show you like expected wait times. And then when you're in the park, they have an app that you can use to, like if Disney's saying it's 60 minutes, they'll say you can actually expect like 40 minutes. So I like using them. They said that the crowds were like 3s. I know they said Magic Kingdom and Epcot, the days we were there, were 3s. I wouldn't have put them that low. I have been on days where there are lower crowds and it was like a level 3 crowd. I would say they were more like a 6, but still for Christmas, that is extremely manageable. We didn't wait for anything more than like I think our longest wait was probably like 30, 40 minutes, maybe, probably closer to 30 minutes. And that's because we got up early, did things in the morning, and then on 2 of our 3 park days, we came back and then went back at like the last hour and a half. And that is the way to do it. If you can. I know for some people that's not doable. You might have like kids' sleep schedules that you have to worry about or whatnot. But if you can, like, that's the way to do it, because you spend so much less time in line. So very manageable crowds, although I recognize like this is not the norm. However, I did go in August, once the parks opened back up, during COVID. So I have seen what they look like on like a typical COVID, that's so weird to say, kind of week. Much more crowded than that, but still, like, it's just crazy for me to think that like the parks in the morning were empty. Like, we could walk and not hit anybody for 50 feet, which is just crazy for me to think. The decorations for Christmas were great. I don't feel like they scaled really back for COVID on that. We have been during the Christmas season. We went in November a couple of years ago and they had Christmas decorations, and I don't think they scaled back decorations. Obviously, some of the like shows and parades and stuff, those were scaled back, but we knew to expect that, and there weren't like fireworks. So Christmas still felt Christmassy, which was great. Transportation in general was great. The first night I was really worried because we waited like an hour at Disney Springs for a bus, and it wasn't that there were long lines at the bus, it was just that the bus didn't come. So I was really worried. The rest of the trip we didn't have a problem. We never waited more than like a few minutes for a bus, maybe like 10 minutes for a bus, which was great, because I feel like I've never really had to wait that bad for a bus, and I know that can be an issue sometimes, but it wasn't this week. I will say, on another note about crowds, I feel like the crowd type was very different, if that makes sense. First of all, and this is something that I should have expected, but I didn't really think about. Normally you see all kinds of international travelers. Obviously that's not the case right now because international travel is like not going on. So that was different than normal. Another thing is, I normally don't travel during times that schools are out because, one, crowds are less crowded, and even though I'm a teacher, my schedule is very different from a traditional calendar because I'm year round. So my breaks are normally like the opposite of normal school breaks. Like I don't have a summer break. My summer break is like the end of August into September, which is when kids are going back to school. So something that was different for me was there were lots of families, and that's not normally the case when I come to Disney because I'm coming when their school is in session. So that was different, and that means there was just a lot of younger kids like doing kid things that you expect. Not a problem. It was just something that I haven't really experienced a whole lot of. The other thing with like the type of crowd, and I don't know, I think it's probably this way during like summer. I've heard kind of that it's like this summer and times where like Disney enthusiasts maybe aren't traveling. It's I don't know if that makes sense, but there was a ton of like line cutting, and I think I mentioned this a couple days ago, but typically I'll see like a few people doing it a couple times. It was really, really bad on our Magic Kingdom day. Like every line we were in, I felt like somebody was cutting, if not like multiple groups cutting. Not as bad on the other days. Epcot, we didn't really ride a whole lot. There wasn't a whole lot of line cutting going on there, but and Hollywood Studios wasn't as bad, but definitely a lot more than I'd normally see at Disney, which was weird. But I think that's all on this trip. It was still a great trip. Really excited that we were here during Christmas. That was super fun, and very, very thankful that we got to come. We are going to fly back to Raleigh, and then we have to drive a couple hours. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign off here, and I will see you next time.